G'day YouTube, my name's Lance. Welcome to Bundy Bear's Shed. Well, the weather report, 21 to 30. So the wet should be here. We're hoping the bloody wet's here, I tell you. It's early Monday morning here, and I'm up the shed trying to get the stew done just before any storms come. They're saying late morning or this morning sometime we're going to have storms. There was a bit of a rumble around last week. A few storms about, but we sort of never got any directly above us. So yeah, so still no water in the dams. But anyway, that's just how it works. This time of year, hopefully, hopefully we can grab something out of it. Anyway, it's the time of year to do it. But anyway, last year we didn't. So yeah, and the year before we didn't. So must be our turn coming up soon. So we'll just see how we go. But oh, look, busy week. As you can see behind me, there's a top cover off the TE20. Look, last week, just no time, just nothing. I'm still waiting for parts, that little tin cover to come in from America. The Aussie, the supplies that we normally have, they're out of stock at the moment. So we've ordered some in out of America. And they should be here soon, but as I was saying last week, that Nicole, one of our staff members, has been on holidays, and she was on holidays again all last week, and she'll have a roster day off today, so she should be back at work tomorrow. And Alan, one of our other blokes, he's been crook with the flu, and he went to the doctor, and they reckon it's something like croup or something like that, something along that line anyway. And so he didn't turn up to work until last Thursday. Yes, so we'd had a busy week. And to top things off, the computer system at work, we have a point of sale system at work, and it's called Ideal POS, and the company that looks after it for us is Sharp Bundaberg. And well, anyway, for some reason, it must have got an update or something, and for some reason, the end of day reports weren't going across into our accounting software, and we subcontract our accounting software out, so the people couldn't do anything with our end of day figures. And so we got on to them, and they said, "Oh, leave all the computers on, and we'll work it out." So that was Thursday evening. So Friday morning I went in at 5:30 and cranks all the computers up, and there's 7 computers, by the way, in that system. And 3 were talking, 4 weren't. And I thought, oh Christ! Every time, and that's Sharp Bundaberg. Look, I don't know. The bloke that does it just doesn't listen sometimes. And so I turns up at 5:30, couldn't open the shop because the computers weren't talking. So if we did a sale, it wouldn't have, they got to talk to each other to adjust stock levels and all that sort of thing. So they must have overwrit something, and so got this message, "Yep, she's all good, working like a beauty." So I look, and the IP addresses in the network, in the point of sale network, out of 7 computers, 3 IP addresses were there, which the IP address is the digital number for your computers in that particular network. And out of the 7, 3 of them had IP addresses and 4 had nothing. It was blank. And so the 3 that were talking to each other, I copied the numbers off them and put them into the system and did a network configuration update just to get that bit going. And so by the time Ross turned up at 7 o'clock, I just sort of got everything organised and worked out what the problem was and had the computers going, and away we went for the day. So anyway, Judy's sort of been working on her days off, and I've been going in at like 5:30 in the morning and coming home 5 of an evening, and things like that, just to try and keep on top of everything. And so no real shed time. The little bit of shed time I did get, I welded up a little bench. But so Friday, Jude says, oh, she took the grandkids to swimming, and she said, when we shut shop, she said, I just want to come back and do the end of day myself and make sure it's all working properly and all that. So we come to do the end of day, and where you have, at the end of the day, you can put, cash FPOS, you know, how the money's come into the business throughout the day. Cash, FPOS, you know, credit cards and all that, and it sort of separates them all so you can keep a track on what's going on at any one time. Well, we couldn't do the end of day because FPOS has gone missing. There's about 3 or 4 other things went missing. So, so anyway, I jumps on the phone, this is like 10 to 5, jumps on the phone to Sharp Bundaberg. They said, oh no, our hours, we finish at 4 o'clock Fridays. If you need anything else, it's got to be a call out, leave a message and we'll have a call out. And I was like, that pig's ass. So Jude's going in there today to write an email to him to, you know, because what we think's happening, the bloke that's doing the work, I told him on Friday when I was talking to him, because he asked for the passwords to get into our accounting software so he could check, and he said, I've just checked it, it's all working. And I said, oh, you didn't put, there was 4 IP addresses missing this morning. And I said, I got here and all the computers wouldn't talk to each other. 3 out of the 7 would, but the other 4 wouldn't. No, he said, I'm pretty sure I put it in there. I said, I don't give F what you bloody thought you'd done, it wasn't in there. But I said, I've got it going. And do you want to have a look? No, he said, oh, I'm pretty sure it was there. Anyway, so his boss would not know that that's gone on. So I'll probably put a hashtag Sharp Bundaberg in this thing. But, oh, it gives you the shits. Every time we got to get 2 or 3 things. And when we changed our accounting software, the lady that we do it with, she was saying, well, yeah, the bloke that's doing it's not listening. She's saying, oh, we need this and this. Yeah, it's done. And she said, he's not listening. You know, it's just how he thought it wanted to be done and how she wanted it done was different. So we got that sorted out and it's been running nicely for a couple of years. Now all of a sudden something's happened. There's been an upgrade. We don't know what's happened, but things have gone a bit wonky, which is just the way with computers. So yeah, on top of what we're trying to do with shorter staff and things like that, trying to keep the show on the road, we had all this bullshit to go on with too. So anyway, you know, we were selling parts and it wasn't a bad week. You know, it was probably a pretty good week in general, but yeah, just all the frustrations that you have to have on the way because you're dealing with a business that's not listening to you. And they sort of think, and look, they know their job for sure, but they don't know. You say this isn't working, they say, oh yes it is, and you say, well, bloody not. So anyway, I just got the system priced on, the whole system's about 28 grand to upgrade it. So we're not going to spend that. We haven't got that to spend. So if there was another option, I'd probably look seriously at doing it. So, but anyway, I'm going to keep that in mind as we move forward with it all. Pardon me. I've got the boat just over here now in the shed. Yeah, young grandson, he's been on to me about fishing. We need to go fishing, Poppy. Oh, when can we go fishing? So, because he was been on to me, well, of course I've had Jude on to me and everyone's saying, oh, when are you putting the boat out? And I thought, oh, all right, well, so anyway, I got the boat ready and serviced it all up, cleaned it out, serviced it all up and replaced the battery and, you know, I did some of that last week, but then I took it into town. And funny thing was, when we bought the boat, it's got a big fuel tank built into the floor. And the bloke that I bought it off, he said, that's a 120 litre fuel tank. And I'm thinking, wow, that's good. And but I've never had it empty. You know, I just top it up, put 20 litres of fresh in on the top or something, and away we go. There's no fuel gauge, it's a bit of a dipstick thing, and it's not calibrated. And so yeah, yesterday or Saturday morning I goes in and it's right, I'll check the bearings and do the whole lot, fill the boat up with fuel. Well, right from empty, because I drained the tank out completely because I was worried about the fuel being stale, and I'd run it through the mowers and it seems to run okay on that. And yeah, it only takes 85 litres. There you go. My 120 litre tanks only takes 85. So, I mean, so there you go. But oh, the amount of boating we do. But then the boat winch, the ratchet shit itself on the boat winch a bit, and it's just been a rusty cable. So I went to Road Tech Marine and they had an electric one. And we've got an Anderson plug on the back of the vehicle, so a 50 amp Anderson plug in. So I thought, well, that'll be good because sometimes you wind and wind. If I'm holding the boat straight, Jude's winding, and it's just hard work. So I said, all right, we'll get an electric one. And I said, well, you know, I've got this sort of trailer, and I got so much, will that fit? Yeah, no, they fit there. So brought it home, didn't fit. And so I spent one evening, with a Friday night, no, Thursday evening. Thursday evening up the shed, cutting the bracket down to make it fit and making a bolt and all that. So that took a bit of time. And anyway, I got it on. I'm not overly fussed with the thing. It wasn't an expensive one, but I'm not overly fussed with it. You've got to tighten the knob up, and that tightens the clutch up, and then it drives. And then to loosen it off, you loosen that nut back and it lets the clutch slip. But it's got like a big plastic cover on it. And where the plastic cover is, you tighten it right in so it bites in, and the nut grinds away on the plastic on the outside. So it was only cheap, but look, we used it yesterday and it did the job. We dropped the boat in at Riverview yesterday, and the young bloke, keen as buggery, but his mum, kids in separated homes and that have a bit of a different battle. And yeah, Tim, on his weekend, on Mum's weekend, you're not allowed to book anything in. She does all that, but he gets the kids and then gets a message and says, oh, I've booked them in for this on Saturday between here and there, and that for there and there, and just a big bullshit thing. But anyway, we're going to court about all that. We'll sort all that out. Yes, young Arrow, he'd been to a party, and then his sister was at a party on Saturday night, and he was sort of missing her a bit, and so he didn't have a real good night. Then yesterday we're fishing, and normally you can take him fishing for a couple of hours and he's onto it, but we're fishing for about 3/4 an hour yesterday, and I'm sick of this. And I was thinking, oh, you little bugger. But I spent days working on this, getting it going. The family was on to me about, we need to get that boat out, and we should have more of this and more of that. And so, yeah, all right, so off we went. And but anyway, it wasn't a real good morning, I didn't reckon. Anyway, it was a bit windy, but he got back and there was a heap of kids where the boat ramp was there, this little sandy beach, and he played there, and he had a great time. So it worked out all right, but yeah, a lot of effort for bloody an hour in the water, and then bring it home and wash it all out and wash the motor and flush the engine and get it all going again. But anyway, that's how it works. LSA oil here. I've had discussions with them again. It's been a long process, but yeah, LSA oil, they're going to help out a little bit with the channel. They're doing a percentage of our turnover, and so it might give me like perhaps a 205 of farm oil a year, and perhaps a bit of grease and things like that. So how it works, and Sparrex are a bit the same, but Sparrex just give me a budget, and they can see the figures move because of it. So LSA are on board. So yeah, I'll probably, the deal is I'm going to put a slide in the front of all the videos now, same as the Sparrex one. There's going to be another slide there with LSA on it, and they're helping out with a bit of the lubrication just for the old vintage tractors and all that. There's not enough in it to do the utes or anything like that, but the old vintage tractors and the back ends and that. And look, we really appreciate it. It just helps the channel an awful lot. Not giving you money, but just helping you out with a bit of stock sort of thing. So so that'll be good. We'll get a couple of drums and show you what we're using as we're using it and why we're using it. So and look, we've sold this stuff for years. I do have faith in it. I run it in everything here anyway. All the vehicles have LSA oil, the tractors, the forklift, everything has LSA oil in it. Most of it's farm oil 1540, and it's an Australian-made oil made in West Australia. And so, so look, that's good. It's been a bit of a long haul wondering what they were doing, and then they've had other things going on as well. So with the stew today, I'll have to get up there and I'll have to do I'll have to get a slide done this afternoon before I can put the stew out this week. So we'll see. We'll see how we go with that. Another thing through the week is if I didn't have enough to do, when I come up to the sheds of a night, I cut up some steel last week, I think it was, and I got the bench welded up for the router, for the CNC router. So we're still waiting. There's 6 boxes come with this CNC router. We've got 3. And we knew it was going to take a while. They told me that when I bought it, and offered me a refund. And I said, look, I can wait a little bit. I had to make the bench and do things like that. So I've brought the shop vac up from the machine shop, I bought a large Ryobi wet and dry vacuum cleaner for the shop, my little shipping container up there, and I thought it'd be good for cleaning up the milling machine and things like that, but it was a failure. Yeah, yeah, just the little whirly bits and all that. And I tried setting it up, and the hot bits had meld onto it, so I tried letting it go, then you know, doing it later, but it just didn't work. The curly bits and yeah, not all the time you get C's and nines, you know, 6s and 9s as chips. So I'm going to bring that up as a dust extraction system for this, and I'm going to go up the house today and have a look on Thingiverse, and I'm pretty sure I've seen a little boot that goes over the bottom of your router, and you can hook your vacuum to it, and so it puts a little boot down over your router that you can adjust up and down, and it just causes a vacuum in there, and so it doesn't make so much mess. Brian Block messaged me the other day and said, oh, with the timber in the workshop it'll probably get everywhere. Well, he's right. I was cutting up the boards to make things fit on Saturday evening, and yeah, there's dust everywhere. I've got to pressure clean out again today. Well, look, if it's raining I probably won't do it because I like it to dry out quickly, but I'll take you up. I've got the bench welded up. I went to town, I bought the ply, and I've got the ply cut for a waste board, and I've got ply cut for the bench top. I've got to bolt the bench top down yet, but I'm just sliding it round. I want it so where the top of the bench is, any moving parts don't come out past where the base of the table is. So if something bumps it, it doesn't hurt the machine at all, it'll just touch the timber. So that's the plan, but over in the corner there where that pedestal drill is, I got off old Cyril. I've still got to get that bloody motor book on that. We're going to have a little bay over there, and it's going to be away from this end, down the other end, and we'll try and make a little alcove sort of thing that we can keep the rubbish in there. So, but anyway, we won't be able to stop it all, but that's fine. I've got the shed now that I can clean it out quickly. Being able to pressure clean's a good thing. Pardon me. While I was welding the table for the CNC, I run out of MIG gas. And so I trotted into town to get some MIG gas, and I was talking to the fellas there about going gasless. And look, some people love it and some people hate it. And anyway, I had a go of it quite a few years ago, and it wasn't real good, and splatter everywhere, and I wasn't pleased with it. Anyway, so I went to BOC Gases and we had a yarn about it, and they said, oh look, and I suppose they would say this, they said some of the Chinese gasless MIG wire with the resin, they said it leaves a mess, but they said get a wire that's, they have an American made one, made in Texas, and they said use a good wire and you will have a better run. You've got to reverse your polarity. I think it's negative to the handpiece. I'm not sure, I'd have to look that up again. And back your roll off, because a lot of people try and put it through, and for the standard wire they got their rolls down tight, and it can crush the, because it's got a resin inside, it can crush the wire a little bit. So, so you get a little serrated roller, and the serrated roller grabs it and pushes it through without having to have so much tension, so you back the tension off. So I bought a bottle of gas to finish the bench, but I also bought a roll of this American BOC Gases MIG wire and the roll for my 175 CIG, and I'm just going to give it a go. It's something I've been wanting to have a go at. People are telling me they're getting good runs out of it, and I jumped on YouTube, and the people are getting good runs. It's not as good as gas. It just isn't as good as gas, but cost-wise it might be a good thing nowadays if they've improved, and they'd want to improve a bloody lot. Because God, and look, the times I've had a go at it, probably twice in my life, I have no idea what wire it is or anything like that, but it was just a shit job. And so I'm going to give that a run. When I've got time to set the welder up, I'm going to put it in and set the roller up and reverse it, and we'll do a bit of a test over on the welding bench and just see how it all works. So see if we can get it going. So yeah, look, I just haven't had shed time apart from racing up of a night to get that bench done, so I couldn't. Then I had to get the boat ready, and it's all over now. So unreal, what a week. But not this. In a fortnight today, we take the new house over, the kids' house over. So Judy and myself are going to have a week off work then, and we're going to go and tidy the gardens up and yeah, out of the pan into the fire probably. So we're going to go and tidy that up. So, but look, that's about it. I'll take you for a walk up. I'll just show you the bench I made through the week. This bit here, we will get to it. It's just I'd like to, I don't want to sort of get halfway through it. What I mean, I don't want to get halfway through it, then wait for parts and wait again. It's just so easy. Well, it's a lot easier from my point of view to just start on the job, work through the video with you with it, and not have to wait on stuff and bugger around. It gets disjointed, and you've got the film there, and you can't put it out and things like that. So hang tight. I'll go and take you up the other end, and we'll have a look at the router. Look at this bloody shirt. Hey, bundybearsshed.com. Hang on a sec. Well, there's a pile of ply and what I've been cutting on and bits of bloody rubbish. But here's a little bench I knocked up quickly. Now, yeah, the bottom there, I'm a bit close really. The bottom, can I zoom out? Oh, a little bit. Yeah, the bottom's where the bucket with the coolant will go, because it's a water-cooled spindle, and the vacuum cleaner, the shop vac will go there. I'm still waiting on the bolts to put the chain support on, but I've got it up there okay. And so this top bench, that's form ply, 17mm form ply, and under the bench I've got a few rails across. It has a support leg on the corner, in the middle and up further, so we've got to level all that up properly yet. I run all the axes, I don't know what the proper, and they travel nicely. I'm a bit excited to get this going really. And I've got a board there that the first job, I've ordered some little T-nuts to go into here, and the first job, or first cab off the rank, will be doing a spoil board for this, so when you come down cutting, you're right. Now, we can get extra adjustment on the spindle here. That's an 80mm spindle, and yeah, I think I can get something to clamp here with a little boot to suck the dust away. So that's the plan. I've been watching a few videos of a night on CNC routing and things like that. If you Google Masonic ruler or Masonic square, there's I think his name's Merkins Tool Works. He does some nice work. Just in brass and aluminium, and really nice stuff on a CNC router. But yeah, that's the bench. That was my homework. Just knocked that up while I was doing nothing. But anyway, look, I am keen to have a play with this thing. We'll see how we go. I've just got the camera in here, and what I'm doing here, I'm 3D printing a dust boot for our new router. So the big hole here is 80mm, so that will clamp onto the router. Then this fella here, that actually goes down as a vacuum cleaner piece, so yeah, for the hose to go on. So you can see the rough shape there. I might see if I can get the file and actually show you a photo of it. But yeah, I just sort of come out every so often. It's been going an hour or so now, and I'll see if I can just zoom in on the file itself, and you can see the crosshatch pattern there, and that's what they call fill, and there's some holes so we can bolt a bottom onto it, and it's going to have a brush and a few things like that. Now, I didn't design this file myself. You can see, for those of you that don't know about 3D printing at all, you can see there's a little 0.4 of a millimetre tube there, a little nozzle, and the plastic, which is on this roll here. I'll zoom back out again. The plastic's on that roller there, and it gets brought out through, and then there's a little extruder roller there, and then that white line, it pushes 1.75 millimetre thick plastic down through. And I'll see if I can get to the screen here for you. So the two, I'm not sure, I think 300's the size of the bed, 200 is the temperature that the plastic is getting extruded. This reel here is getting extruded at 200 degrees. The bed down the bottom is 50 degrees, and we're running it at 100%. We're 3.4%. Oh no, we've been going 3 hours 46 minutes and we're 17% done. So it's a long job. Now where you can see the other side here, you can see it starting to come back across the top, and you can see it starting to fill. So you can see a section here that's clear. You can see the crosshatch pattern, which is a support, but as you come around here you can see where it started to fill that back up. So you can also see around here where it hasn't gone back in to do the crosshatch yet. It's actually stopped the crosshatch about here somewhere. That'll be in the program. I don't know why they do it like that, but yeah, I got this file off a website called Thingiverse, and it's just a thing. You set it and away you go. Yeah, it's not very visual for you all, is it? But you set it and away it goes, and I've been there 3 hours and 47 minutes, but that was, I've had a bit of a fiddle around with this. I've been playing with it, so but I'm 17% in, so probably by this afternoon it'll be all done. And yeah, I might have something to show you before the stew gets put out there. We'll just see. If so, I'll show. If not, I'll show you next week. This is 1.75 millimetre PLA, and it's orange, of course, and I've got a heap of different colours of stuff, but this was a reel that I'd had opened, and I originally did some vice jaws with that, some soft vice jaws with this orange, and you would not believe how hard those soft jaws are. They're just beauties. So anyway, just something a bit different with the router. And yeah, some of you may or may not know about 3D printing. I have a printer. It's a Creality CR10S, so it's probably an old model now. And when I swing across, I'll show you. When I first bought it and I was all excited, I designed these collet racks. So I've actually got some ER11 collets now. So this is ER32, this is ER40, and they go together as a dovetail thing. And those fellas there, they're the 5C collets, which we have in hex and squares and metric and imperial. Well, a little bit of metric and imperial, so yeah. But yeah, that's what you can 3D print, and those all work like a little, you can see the little square section there. I've dovetailed them. That's my design. I've dovetailed them in, and I probably should still keep with the same size outside here roughly, or I think the ER40s are 100mm square, but I could get quite a few ER11 collets in there for the router. But anyway, there we go. That's 3D printing for those that yeah, those that are interested. Well, here we go, a couple of hours later, and you can see the boss starting to build. You can see the webbing here, and there's going to be a flange up here with the bolt and the nut through it, so I can clamp this piece onto the router. So it's just poking along there. I've been away doing other stuff. I've just shut the door and let it go. Well, you can make, technology's a wonderful thing when you get into it. He's doing a little crosshatch pattern there now. And it's going around the outside edge. Just going to build that one up a little bit more. This is 3 pieces. This is just one piece, and there's a base and another thing to hold the brush in. I like watching the build things, but it gets a bit boring. But it's sort of interesting to come in every so often. I come in every couple of hours while I'm awake. Sometimes I've let them go and I just press the go button and go to bed. But I haven't printed in a while. It took me a little while to just service everything up this morning. So yeah, hopefully in a few hours. We're 51% through the print. Yeah, I reckon this one you'd think you'd be a bit longer through the print, but anyway, because there's a lot of printing in this base where these 2 bosses now are only the verticals, and you can see where the bases, where the supports are here and things like that. So anyway, that's progress. Progress report number 2. And look, we can't be far away. That's 30.6 millimeters high according to the screen. It's taken 9 hours and 40 minutes. So it's a slow process, but I just come in every couple of hours and have a look, make sure everything's going okay. So yeah, this bit clamps on the router. You can see where the bolt goes through there, and the vacuum nozzle goes on here. And this is the biggest part of it all, and there's still a bottom piece and a like a clamp to go. But you can see just in there there's a couple little lumps I'll have to sand off. Yeah, just the plastic must have bubbled out or something. But there you go. You can see on the top now it's starting to fill the top in there. So little short movements across. I'll see. And you can see it's starting to build the top up instead of the crisscross pattern. Well, that might be easy to see. So yeah, very close. Okay, and there you go. That's the finished file. So that'll probably be a bugger to get off now, I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, I have to get 2 hands onto that, I think, but yeah, that's it. So I'll take this one off, and before I go to bed this evening I'll set the next one up, and yeah, we'll see how we go. Well, hopefully next week I can show you the completed item.